All right, in this example, an appliance salesperson receives a base salary of $200 a week and a commission of 4% on all sales over $3,000 during the week. On top of that, if her weekly sales are $8,000 or more, the salesperson receives a $100 bonus. So if we let X be the weekly sales in dollars, we want to express the weekly earnings as a function of X and sketch its graph. All right. Well, I'm actually going to sketch its graph first, just because that's a little bit easier. Let's just think about what's going on here. So I'm going to draw. Let's see. I'm going to draw an couple axes here. So the salary, right, the earnings are dependent on the amount of sales. So I'm going to let X be the amount of sales. I'm going to put that on the horizontal axis, and then we're going to graph the earnings E of X on the y-axis, the vertical axis. Okay. Now let's say, what do we got here? She's going to earn a flat $200 until she reaches $3,000 in sales. And then she starts earning this commission. And then when she reaches $8,000, she gets the bonus. So there's a few key points here, right? There's some key points at $3,000 and $8,000. So let me just label this x-axis. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this is 8,000 and this is 3,000. It's not very even, but okay. So that's her weekly sales. And then her earnings, I'm just going to call this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600. Okay. All right. So if she doesn't sell anything, she gets her salary, her $200 salary, and that just keeps, she just gets $200 until she hits a sales level of $3,000. Okay. Once she's sold $3,000, then she starts earning commission. All right. So the first piece of this function is just a flat $200 salary. But then once she hits $3,000 in sales, she starts earning 4%. So let's think about it. But this 4% is only on the sales over $3,000. Okay. So she sells $4,000, she only earns the 4% on $1,000. Okay, so she only gets 40 extra dollars because she's only earning this commission on the amount over $3,000. Okay, so she's expected to sell $3,000, and then if she sells more than that, then she starts getting the commission. All right. So essentially, she's getting $40 for every $1,000 additional that she sells. When you get to 8,000, that's $5,000 over what over $3,000. So she'll earn commission on $5,000. So 4% of $5,000 is $200. Okay, so when we get to $8,000, she's earning an extra $200 in commission. Okay, so she gets her base salary plus $200 commission, right? 4% of $5,000. All right, and that just so it goes up steadily. Now, actually, I should put an open circle here because at $8,000, then she gets an extra $100, right? So you hit that mark of $8,000, and now you're actually going to get $500 a salary if you sell exactly $8,000 worth of appliances, and then she's also going to continue earning the commission, right? If she goes over $8,000, she still earns the commission, so the graph will just keep going up like that. Okay, but she only gets the $100 just once, but it raises her salary from 400 to 500 when she's sold $8,000. And then, but it's going to still rise at the slope of the curve at that point is still, slope of that line is still going to be the same, right? Because the slope is determined by the 4% commission. All right, so that's a graph of what it looks like, just based on the words that we're told. And now we want to actually write a function. All right. Now, obviously, we have 3 pieces here. It doesn't really make sense for her to sell a negative amount of appliances. So the domain's going to start at 0. And the first piece is just going to be for 0, x between 0 and 3,000. Okay. And it's just going to be a flat $200, right? So that's the first part. So let me just kind of draw a little bracket here. All right, so we got f of x is equal to, all right, and that's the first piece. All right, the next piece is linear. Now we got a couple of points. We've got 3,000, comma 200, right? And then we've got another point up here at 8,000, 8,000, comma 400, right? And we could use the point slope formula and find the equation of that line. But we can also just reason it out, right? She's going to make $200 plus 4% of anything that she earns or that she sells over $3,000, right? So the amount over 3,000 is just going to be x minus 3,000, right? Oops, not 300, 3,000. Okay. So if she sells $4,000 worth of appliances, she'll get the $200 plus 4% of 1,000, right? It's the amount over 3,000. If she sells $5,000 of appliances, she'll get the $200 plus 4% of 2,000, right? Because $5,000 would be 2,000 over 3,000. Okay, so this is for sales between 3,000 and let's see, 3,000 and $8,000. Now I'm not going to include the endpoints on this one. I already included. Whoops, it just should be $3,000. I already included 3,000 in the other end. Now this graph, these two pieces meet up, so it doesn't really matter which function I use. At that point, at the point 3,000. So, but since I already included the point 3,000, sales x equals 3,000 in the first piece of the function, then I won't include it in the second piece. All right. All right. So that takes care of the middle piece of the function, and then just have to take care of that last piece. So she's going to continue to get her base salary plus the commission. But then she gets this one-time bonus if she hits $8,000 in sales. So I'm just going to add the $100 bonus on to the equation I already have, and I can just kind of add it. I can just add, if I add it on there, I'm just going to add it to the 200. So she's going to get 300 plus 0.04 times x minus 3,000. Okay. And that's for x greater than or equal to 8,000. Okay. Now in this case, I'm going to include 8,000 because she gets that bonus if she sells 8,000 or more, right? So 8,000 is included in that interval of this piecewise function. Okay. So there you go. That's our piecewise defined function. And there's one more question here, which is just to state the domain and range of this function. So, oops. So domain, that's just all the possible x values. And so the domain of the function is just going to be, now, like I said before, it doesn't really make sense to sell a negative amount of appliances. So I'm going to start it at 0. And she could, I'm going to include 0 because she could sell nothing. She has a really bad week, right? She comes to work every day, but she doesn't sell any appliances. So that's a possibility. So I'm going to include 0, but there's no upper limit on how much she can sell. All right. So I'm just going to say infinity. It can go as high as we want. We don't really have an upper limit. All right. And then the range of the function So the function is e of x, and so the domain starts at 200, right? So that's the minimum that she's going to earn. She just shows up for work. She's going to get $200 a week automatically. And she could earn as much as she wants because she could sell as much as there's no upper limit on the sales. So there's no upper limit on her earnings, right? So we're gonna say to infinity. I don't know. Realistically, she's only got so many hours in the day. So, but there's no upper limit that we know of. So we're just gonna say infinity. All right. So there you go. I'll meet you for the next example.